Good evening, everyone. This is William here again, and I'm pretty sure some of you have seen my very first YouTube video. And I know I said before that, oh, maybe like some other time I'll do another YouTube video, but you know what? What the heck? I'll make a second one on the same day. So, another thing that I would like to talk about, so I'm sure if any of you seen in my previous video about me talking about 2022, the holidays, entering 2023 and all that, and how this year was a lot better compared to last year and the year before, and with the COVID fiasco and everything. But with this video, I actually am going to talk about living at home. Now, as a lot of you may know, is that kids that are like in their, well, I shouldn't say kids, I should say young adults that are in their early, mid, late 20s that are still living at home. And there is nothing wrong with that, because now these days, with all these apartments being extremely expensive, and you know, young adults now these days are trying to save up their money. And as a matter of fact, like, I think COVID is also another reason why a lot of, people in their 20s had to move back home with their parents, because a lot of them have gotten laid off from their job. Some of them are just graduating from college and have issues getting a job because of COVID. And even now, 2 years later, with all the expenses of apartments and everything like that, you know, kids, young adults can't afford it. So that's why they're, yeah, home for a couple of years, saving up, working, and hopefully they'll have enough to move out eventually. But I also want to make this thing very clear that, let's say if you have a younger sibling that has already moved out before you, and you're, of course, the oldest and you're still at home, never compare yourself to other people. Sure, your younger brother or your younger sister moves out before you. That's totally fine. It's not a competition. Everyone goes at their different pace. And another point that I would like to make is, just because you are living at home, it does not mean that you are less of an adult. You are still an adult. You know, you may not have your own place, you're still under your parents' roof, but that doesn't make you a kid. So I just want to get that out, because I noticed that people will be like, oh, like, you're too old to be living at home, or like, oh, like, if you're not a real man or you're not a real woman if you're still living at home. No, that is 100% false. Not true whatsoever. If anything, a real adult is someone who actually waits until they actually have enough money saved up and feel like they're financially stable, and then they go off. The non-adult thing is to be like, oh, I want to move out right now. But when you've realized that you are not financially stable enough to support yourself, then, that's not an adult move. A real adult knows that he or she has to save up when they know that they won't be able to financially support themselves. So, I also just felt like I wanted to point that out there, because I know certain people out there do not get it, and I know some people do get it. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with living at home with your mom and dad. And as long as you work and contribute and, just not make any horrible decisions, then you're golden. That's all that matters. It's not about like, oh, who gets out before you, or like, oh, I am more of an adult than you are. No, not at all. Everyone has their own pace. Not everyone is exactly the same. And that is actually a good thing, because if everyone is exactly the same as you or with anything else, it's just a boring, boring time of your life and for everyone else. But when you see that people are different than you in different things, that's what makes life and everything special, you know, because different things makes everything else, unique in a different way. And a lot of, there could be a lot of good changes along the way. You can progress up, move up in life, whereas if you're just always seeing the same things, and if people are just always wanting to be exactly like you, you know, it just is a boring, universe. So, yep, differences is very important, and one of them is that if someone goes up a faster pace than you go at your own pace. You know, that's the most important thing. So, yeah, I figured I would actually put that out there, and that would be, as for my second video, that would be a perfect topic to talk about. Is, yeah, living at home with your parents, because your parents will love you no matter what, and they'll have a lot of support for you, and they believe in you of what you'll have, how you'll succeed in the future, and they'll know that you'll be successful when you put your heart and soul into it and show that you're a hard worker, which I'm sure a lot of you have always done. Not everyone, but you know, every child is different. So, yep. So that was my second video on the same night. And you're more than welcome to watch this video, and you can definitely go back to the previous video I made 2 hours ago. And yeah, so hope everyone stays safe, and I will be back pretty soon. Peace.